I think he would love to have a prune-colored car.
I'm going to know the least amount of cars.
I am going to bring up one car in this
Okay.
that I really like.
Well, that just brings us back to this podcast. Welcome to Rabbit Troop Sucks. And hey, we're back. And yeah, we're talking about weird cars for weird reasons that you don't need to know about. And for some reasons, maybe you'll find out in this movie. You'll find out the hard way, I'm sure, as we cover The Hard Way from 1991. As always, I am Paul. Next to me is Mike.
Hello. I was reading things.
Next, stacks of annals about this film. Next to Mike is Lamar.
Hello.
Next to Lamar, virtually on a big screen, is Jeremy.
I guess it's fucking party time.
Yeah.
We're going to let the shenanigans begin.
I know for a fact this guy likes to party.
Well, this guy's going to crash the parties. And next to Jeremy, who is virtually coming at us, is our first-time visitor, Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Howdy.
Yay. And we're going to look at The Hard Way, 1991.
Yeah.
And I picked it. So if you have any doubt if I like this movie, I really like this movie. I've seen it. I picked it. I picked it for a lot of reasons. And I definitely wanted Sarah. We've been trying to get Sarah on the show for a while. I know Sarah has a very busy life, and sometimes it is just hard to record late into nights. So I definitely wanted one. I was thinking of a couple choices with Sarah, and I remember Sarah years ago told me, she's like, "Oh, I love Michael J. Fox," and I was like, Sarah, I feel when people say things like that to me, you just like unlocked like a segment of your personality. You're like, you don't need to say anything else. I'm like, I understand. Like, I understand on many levels. Like, we agree on many levels, and we can now bond on many levels. I mean, I clearly have to assume everyone's like Back to the Future. But Sarah, outside of Back to the Future, where does the love of Michael J. Fox come from?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think nostalgia is a big part of it. He was a big part of my childhood. Definitely loved Back to the Future. I definitely associate Michael J. Fox with my dad, which I think they're like roughly the same age. My dad had me when he was pretty young. So,
Wow.
Yeah, we watched Back to the Future all the time together when I was really little. So I always remember that.
Nice.
I haven't seen it in many years, but I remember liking the movie Doc Hollywood, which is another Michael J.
I
Fox
love Doc
movie.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
My wife and I watched Doc Hollywood a couple weeks ago. It was the first time she saw this and this movie. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm hitting home runs with Michael J. Fox. I love Doc Hollywood. Love it. Mike, have you seen Doc Hollywood?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yes.
I'm willing to do Doc Hollywood on this podcast at any point in time.
I watched that, yeah, like definitely multiple times as a kid. And I mean, of course, Family Ties, but
Oh yeah.
How many times have you seen Back to the Future and Doc Hollywood in your life, would you say?
I couldn't count. I couldn't tell you. Yeah, I probably
It's in the
couldn't count.
hundreds.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
I
I know
will
where
give
you're coming
you
from.
a little fact about me. Sometimes I just put on Doc Hollywood and I put it on a low volume on an iPad and I close my eyes and that is how I go to bed.
Wow.
And I'm not joking. There's only a handful of movies I could do that with. I know the dialogue so well. Yeah, I could turn that movie on pretty much at any point in time and I'm just very tranquil.
Awesome. Have you seen that movie or Back to the Future more? And which one is your favorite amongst the two?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, Back to the Future.
Yeah,
by all
you'll
means. I
have
mean,
to-
Back to the Future is like one of my favorite just
'Cause it's
sets of
iconic.
movies ever.
Yeah.
Just like at any point in time. But probably I'm going to put in quotes, I've seen or I've heard Doc Hollywood maybe more than I've seen Back to the Future, just because I've had it on rotation that honestly for days Doc Hollywood was just on.
Right on.
That's really weird for me.
You can't go to sleep to any movie.
I can't go to sleep to any movie.
Lucor's was the Jet Li movie.
Of course, the Jet Li guy.
Romeo Must Die. Lucor would have Romeo Must Die on.
I feel like you can say any Jet Li movie.
No, it was like actively Romeo
was a
Must
direct
Die.
one, yeah.
He was watching like nightly for I think honestly for like 2 years.
I remember those years.
Wow.
That's not surprising.
Yeah.
We call those the Jet Li years.
Romeo Must Die. That's
Good movie,
that's what
but I'm
gets
not
you
going to
under.
commit it to a daily watch.
And so Sarah, you have not seen this movie until we were going to watch it, correct?
I didn't remember it at all, but then when I was watching it, I was like, okay, I definitely saw this when I was a kid.
Right on.
If
And
that's
it
the
came
case,
back to me.
have we all seen it? Wait, Mike, have you not seen it?
I have seen it.
Okay, so we have all seen this movie going into it.
Yes,
The
but
hard way.
it's been quite a few years.
How many years?
I think I last saw it with you. We put it on a random Saturday night. We had some drinks and probably watched the first 5 minutes and then randomly talked about BS for the next 95 minutes.
We talked about gems.
Okay.
Gems of
Those gems did come to life, but the hard way, me and remembering it did not. So it took a while for me to remember everything, but it all came back together in this rewatch.
Well, let me open with a IMDb summary. An action movie star researching a role is allowed to tag along with a hard-boiled New York City policeman who finds him superficial and irritating. I guess to say the least, but
That's a perfect summary.
yeah,
Thank you.
It's a very
Thank you,
direct,
IMDb.
very succinct summary. I think the first piece of trivia I read was James Woods was noted that he had a hard time being really gruff with Michael J. Fox because I guess he just really liked him. Did anyone see that?
I did not. That's
I mean, none of that surprises me. I mean, the first thought I have is we've talked about, Doc Hollywood, Back to the Future, Family Ties. Everything I have ever read or heard about Michael J. Fox is he's an incredible...
He's a nice guy.
Yeah. Just, he's a hardworking dude. I remember I read that in Family Ties, I think the way he got the role on the show was he was like sleeping in like some one room nothing. And he lived close to a payphone that he checked the payphone like from 1 till 3 every day and eventually got a call back. Then during Family Ties, he was like double working Back to the Future. This dude's always working. Clearly he's known, unfortunately, with Parkinson's disease. But his foundation has, accrued millions upon millions of dollars. All these celebrities have come out and said, he still works on this foundation. He's still the nice guy that he is. Like, everyone just always seems smiles. I follow him clearly on, like, social media and other people. And everyone, just seems like smiles with this guy. So I could see James Woods' problem working.
And since you're talking about his bio, have you guys seen the documentary that came out in May?
I have not. Have you seen
Not
it?
I
bio.
did, yeah. It's called
haven't.
Still. It's really good. It's really good. There's really cool footage in it of like him on set when he's actually they had some footage from the Family Ties auditions, which was
Wow.
really cool.
Okay.
But yeah, he narrates most of the film too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I would assume his wife is probably all over that documentary. I mean, they've been married since Family Ties, which is awesome.
Yeah. She plays a big role in it. Yeah.
Yeah, see, everyone loves Michael J. Fox.
sure.
How could you not?
And
How could you not?
So here's my favorite part. I love him in an R-rated movie. I didn't see it coming.
That's true too. In contrast, I really don't know much about James Woods. You said James Woods
You
had a
don't-
problem.
Staunch Republican.
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want.
My
you don't wanna
knowledge,
look him
my
up.
knowledge of James Woods pretty much is he is a recurring character in Family Guy. I know him from just as a character from Family Guy. I think he did an episode of Simpsons where he plays himself. He plays himself in a lot of like animated shows, and he's always a dick. And
Always.
I'm just asking right now because I don't know anything about James Woods, honestly, besides he was in Videodrome.
Is
He a dick?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to
Yeah.
go with that.
I have no idea, but probably.
He's not on the level of dick like Gary Busey is, or like they just seem like a.
I'm sorry, Gary Busey pet judge, because Gary Busey pet judge is a whole different breed that I support 100%.
Now, see, you've been touting that around. I got to check that out.
We watched it together. What are you talking about?
I have not. I was not there when you watched it.
I thought there was part of an episode. Gary Busey at one point in time ruled a $50 fine to one of the people who was like, I don't know, doing something because he was sad with what they said. He said, "You made me sad." $50.
do the animals? Who pays the 50? Is it dogs or? I guess I need. What
You
are you
need the
talking
context.
about?
You need to watch it.
Yeah, Gary
No,
Busey's,
I've never-
Gary Busey's a judge and he presides over pet proceedings.
See,
And
now aren't
their
you
owners
in?
come in and there's
So he does talk to the. He's not talking to the pets.
Oh, he's talking to the
Okay.
It's Gary Busey. He's-
Yeah, that's Gary Busey can only talk to pets now.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Well, now that
Wow.
I'm seeing James Woods in acting roles more and more. He just reminds me from that class of weird drunk actors. He's not a drunk. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he just acts more. He acts drunk. He acts really belligerent, just weird in ways.
When I re-edit this, it's gonna be you saying he's drunk.
You can say that. In fact, I'll give you a hard. He's drunk. There.
Bitch is drunk.
What's odd is I don't think he's drinking or smoking at all in this movie. But
Well, he's quitting smoking.
He's trying to
he
smoke all
is.
throughout the movie.
There's a scene.
Just,
That's true.
Yeah, just like me.
I found that very similar. That was the thread in The Fifth Element, that the guy's just trying to smoke all throughout the movie and cannot successfully do it. And I do not believe James Woods ever is smoking in this film.
He just sets off the vibe that at all times he's up to no good.
Yeah.
And that's what I think of James Woods.
So basically, in context, you're saying James Woods is a naughty boy.
He is a naughty boy.
I just needed that in context because we are speaking about Michael J. Fox and how great he is, and I know nothing about James Woods. So when the two meet, it's just I wonder what's the meeting going to be like. So that was a kind of interesting story that James was not going to be a dick to Michael J.
I think Sarah, with the definition of James Woods being maybe a naughty boy, I think Sarah's like, I didn't sign up for this. I'm out of this podcast.
There's a lot you didn't sign up for, but now you are part of it.
Do you take my name off this right now? And star swipe. So at the core, this movie is a buddy comedy action flick. And part of the trivia I read was this movie maybe didn't do all too well because it's kind of at the tail end of people liking this. Lethal Weapon, various other things.
Yeah.
I like the team up of both these guys a lot. I don't think this could have been a franchise. There might have been a sequel that could have come out of this. But and I'll gush over the ending of this film. I like how this movie successfully just like ends all things.
No, it's a great movie, dude. It is. It's a fun movie, and you feel good at the end of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So so we'll just kind of open. So we have a psycho killer on the street of New York. And that's something I really like about this film too. This movie opens up super intensifying in a way. Like the audience, I guess, is like feeling the intensity, as how I should phrase it. That this guy is no joke. Like, you think you're in a buddy action comedy film, okay, but this guy goes to this club and just starts gunning people down. I mean, we'll get to a step by step, but this, I would not have thought that this would have been like the crime that was being committed. Like, maybe some like weirdos doing weird stuff, not just brutally killing people. And this dude is a crazy psycho of a villain. I like the villain.
Yeah.
So I have like in my notes, I specifically say like it has snippets of things like street gambling and like prostitution and like illicit nightlife, and I think that's like a foreshadowing of what like the hatred that this party crasher guy has for like.
The opening montage,
the urban setting.
It's like, we have to let you know that New York is gross and unsafe.
However, there's one part. I think the opening scene. There's a 3-card Monty scene.
Yeah,
and they're gambling with hundreds.
Yeah.
Would you throw down 100 on a 3-card Monty New York? Holy shit.
Lamar, you bet big or you go home.
Yeah, that's very true.
I came to New York City to bet big. To bet big and go to theater.
I'm here for the street gambling, guys.
They did a good job of setting the scene that it was a seedy environment.
Oh yeah, I totally like it. It's the opening sequence is Cowboy Bebop. It's big band jazz and like these like little segments, and it's total pulp comic. Even when the party crasher is in the cab, it kind of looks fake at a point in time. Like the backdrop looks very almost green screen, but this would have been pre-green screen. So it just looks. It kind of looks like Sin City, the movie, for a second. Like,
yeah, it almost kind of had like a drawn animated quality.
Yeah,
to it.
And I totally dug it. I'm like, this is kind of weird.
Cool.
Like, this is different. So I'm like, cool. Yeah.
The thing that struck me was Times Square. Like, I don't know when the last time you all have been to New York, but I went there when I was young, and then I've been there a few years ago. And Times Square looks so different. And it just, seeing it, it had this kind of quality that you're talking about with just the layers of animation and the advertising. I mean, just everything popped off the buildings. Now when you go to Times Square, it's kind of almost like everything's just one giant screen around you, almost.
Yeah, for sure.
And, I know part of this opening sequence, they're building the billboard of Nick Lane. In his Smoking Guns movie and with the smoking cigarette. And I want those billboards again. We need to bring them back.
I'm into it.
Yeah, I love that the billboard is a centerpiece all throughout this film.
Yeah.
And they always go back to it. Totally, Sarah, that we have I think, do I think advertisements, we've even talked about this on the show, do I think they're powerful and effective? Yes. But billboards, I can't even tell you what is on any billboard outside of maybe an advertisement for a restaurant. I don't know. That's the only billboard I could even think of.
I would say they appeal to a certain demographic, not just people walking by. Probably drivers who just, that's all they see is billboards, and that's the type of advertisement that subconsciously they pick up on, mainly because they're just on the road for so long. But us, we just commute from wherever we're going to wherever we're going. Those advertisements, we just, if they're not like bouncing out of the wall, if they're not motorized, if they're not colorful, and they're not these days, we just don't give a damn.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Sarah's right. Bring them back. I want Nick Lang smoking.
Right. I've seen a
downtown
couple,
Denver.
I've seen a couple like
absolutely
windmill or something like that. They're not fun. Like a smoking, like the Marlboro Man's never coming back. That's done.
No,
you gotta.
He's done.
But they can be colorful and cute if. Like the creativity is dead.
There's a big billboard that I see on my way home that says it's like for a law firm, and it says "fuck around and find." I mean, it's crossed out. It says "fuck around and find out."
Awesome.
And it's like the people at their law firm looking like sexy badasses.
All right, there you go. It's like It's Always Sunny, Frank's, and he does the little contest.
Let me tell you something, Mike.
Billboard.
If shit goes down while I'm in fucking Denver, those are the guys I'm calling.
Yeah, you have to.
Eye-catching ads.
Yeah, we did it. Mm-hmm. And that was The Hard Way, 1990.
Okay, good. We'll see you next week, guys. But yes, this is where we're introduced to, we'll find out his name is the Party Crasher. You said you like this guy. I liked him sort of. Every time he spoke, I wanted to jump out of a window. But
you don't want him to sing you songs?
Aside from that, I was into it. He's cruising around in a cab. He also pulls out the largest pistol in the history of the world.
Yes.
It was like the Joker from the '89 Batman.
I love this gun.
That's a 475 Woodley Magnum
with like a pipe taped to it.
Yeah, I know nothing about guns. I'm not a weapon dude. I don't own weapons. But when movies have guns like this, I love it because it looks like it came right out of Aliens. I'm like, cool, dude. Like, I don't know, you're gonna fight like weird creatures on a spaceship. So awesome.
It's a horrible gun, and
I'm sure.
I hope somebody emails you and says like no, it's a very good gun. Like no, it just like logistically speaking, it's a horrible gun.
The fun part is outside of just this gun being brandished, which we'll see in a couple seconds. We're at a killer club where Mama Said Knock You Out is playing by LL Cool J.
Foreshadowing.
Who is also in this film. So LL Cool J is getting royalties maybe on 2, if not multiple other levels. Crazy.
That was crazy. But I gotta say, I listened to that song and that whole tape. If you
I own that tape for
back
sure. Oh my God.
Back to back, maybe 1 million times that year. Wore that damn thing out.
Yeah, did you notice later he actually uses a lyrical line? He slides across the car and he's like, "Jiggle it, baby." I was like, you're just using lines from like different songs.
That's easy money right there. That guy's got to be the easiest paid actor right now. Damn, LL. How'd he do it?
Well,
I think I think LL Cool J is coming to Denver.
Are you serious?
I think it's in like 2 weeks. He's headlining the 50th anniversary tour.
Yeah, that's
hip hop's 50th anniversary. Yeah. So
I would totally say LL Cool J live.
Yeah.
And I know he's a listener, so LL, if you ever want to be on this podcast, you are more than invited.
That's who bought those double XL shirts.
I know. Yeah. LL. Yeah.
I think it's just kind of weird that he was just thrown into this movie too. He's not a major character. He's just one of his partners, right?
He's just a guy.
I think he has 2 lines. He's just one of the police officers.
Yeah.
So I had read when I was reading some of the trivia about the movie that there's a lieutenant, NYPD lieutenant, whose name is James Wood, who James Woods shadowed for this film.
That's awesome.
And he also was a consultant on the film. And I guess he said you really need to redo your casting and add different characters for the police force because it's not representative in terms of, ethnicity or race for NYPD police. And I guess LL Cool J's character is one of the characters they added.
That's crazy.
Based on that advice.
Wow.
If now I'm thinking of the other cast members. If you ever need someone to represent me, Luis Guzman could easily represent me.
Definitely.
I love Luis Guzman, man.
Yeah, alumni of Colorado's own Greendale Community College.
Damn right. There's only one famous alum, and it's Luis Guzman.
Go Greendale.
Yeah, somewhere is this like, and maybe this is just scratched out in my notes. Is this where? So Sarah brought up that they're building that billboard, and is this where James Woods gets tripped up? Like the billboard stops his car.
Yeah, they're constructing it. He's trying to get to a date.
Yeah, he's trying to get laid.
Yeah, he's trying to. Yeah, and yeah, there's traffic, and he hates everything, and he's being a real butthole about it. But this is where he establishes how much he hates Michael J. Fox's character.
Yeah, because like some dudes wheeled the thing out in front of his car.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'm gonna kill you. Yeah, like so he's already like it's in the back of his mind. He's incepted that he hates Nick Lang, who is Michael J. Fox. Who then we get a hard cut to Michael J. Fox, and I forgot this brief cameo. His agent, Penny Marshall.
Wow.
You skipped the whole club scene, like shooting, like.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there in Penny Marshall. Sorry, I was just excited about Penny Marshall. Oh yeah, we're still in the club. Haha.
Yeah. So he like basically the party crasher. He calls the cops. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill somebody in this club, and they like all rush there, and they go into the club. They're looking around. The party crasher's literally the only guy not dancing, and he's easy to spot. All the cops see him, but somehow he still kills somebody and gets away.
Yes. And then, yes, it's James Woods, trying to hang in there. Is this the car chase at this point in time?
No.
Yeah.
The car chase?
Oh, is it?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, but so the
tow truck escape scene.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so James Woods, gets on this tow truck, and he's trying to, take over this vehicle as the party crasher basically just slips into this vehicle like, hey, la-di-da, there's some keys in a tow truck. I'm just going to drive off in New York City. Sure, why not? I can imagine someone doing that and getting 25 feet away, not just freely driving around.
Wasn't the tow truck trying to tow James Woods' car?
Yes.
Okay. Can't catch a break. He had his date interrupted.
He was having all kinds. I can understand why he was mad, but I just couldn't feel it. His insanity is just awful.
James Woods can get no love.
Then there's, it all goes disastrously wrong for the police force, James Woods, etc. And then, you see this quick cut of, reporters and he's being interviewed. That's now where we get the hard cut to Michael J. Fox, who is noting he wants a role. He wants to become this cop. And sorry, I was just so excited that I forgot this cameo of Penny Marshall was in here. Penny Marshall, Laverne and Shirley, directed several films. I mean, clearly we've noted Big, A League of Their Own. I love Penny Marshall every which way, who is no longer alive. But I was like, holy shit, it's Penny Marshall. So that's how much I love her. That she's only in it for a minute, but I mean, we're all aware of Penny Marshall. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I did not recognize that or know who that was until you just told me.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
She stood out.
My God.
Kind of bright. It's like they didn't even put makeup on her. She was bright as day, Penny Marshall, standing out.
I guess any of the things that you just named I've not seen. But I did recognize...
You've never seen Big or A League of Their Own?
Oh, I've seen Big, yeah. I've seen A League of Their Own as well, but like 30 years ago.
Well, she's the director. She's amazing.
Okay, I believe you.
And Laverne and Shirley.
I've never seen Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, my God.
But Kathy Najimy, also there. I know who that is.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did I say her name right? Is that correct?
Maybe.
From Hocus Pocus.
Maybe.
Okay.
Let's contact her and find out.
Yeah. Kathy, I know you're a listener. Just write in.
Everyone's always
Write in.
invited.
Everybody needs to write in.
I love that scene because the comedic timing is just so on between Michael J. Fox and Penny Marshall. Like
It is a really good scene.
It's great dialogue.
It's good, but it's spoiler alert, this is probably her only scene in it. Am I right? I don't think we see her again.
Well, honestly,
I think so.
I can't really name you any Penny Marshall acting gig around this time and after that isn't more of a cameo. Penny Marshall also in Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
With her brother in Hocus Pocus.
I would also like to know what the fuck is going on at Michael J. Fox's house right now,
That's
because
true.
there's a lot of people there, and most of them have very little clothing on.
Yeah, he's got a pretty babe-heavy house.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it's from MTV Cribs from 1990.
So the scene is pretty much just establishing that he's a big time actor, and it's his house. So it looks like they're filming a movie in his house too, because I think there's a camera in the back, and there's a makeup chair, and just a bunch of weird women running around. So he might be just filming a movie at his house.
I like that I'm of an age that like all the things that you're saying, like I noticed, but I'm like, I also noticed like, man, this guy is clearly having like catered gourmet fruits and fruit trays. I was like, that's what I need in my house.
Very nice spread.
Like, I don't need this other crap. Like, someone's just like, every day I come over and I bring you freshly cut fruit, and then I leave. I'd be like, that's great.
So you go for the craft services, not the women.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to.
Hey there, Dr. Fruit.
Once you hit 40, you go for the fucking craft service.
Yeah, I mean, especially at this high end. This didn't look like low level. Like I just got some random stuff.
Yeah,
this looks like some good food.
I'd trade the food for the babes. I'd just grub up something.
No,
These babes might have been handled improperly beforehand.
They're gonna be, yeah.
I mean, okay.
that took a dark turn.
That's
Paul, it's because of the implications.
Yeah. So Nick, who is Michael J. Fox, develops this plan. He shows Penny Marshall, his agent, this clip. He's like, I want to be this hard cop. And what was it like, go tie your dick in a knot.
Dick in a knot.
I love it. I love all the fucking one-liners that James Woods has in this movie, and there's another one coming up.
I do like his one-liners, despite my...
Yeah, he's like, that's the guy I need to be. I need to shadow this guy. So he comes up with this idea that they're going to call this guy's, chief, and he's just going to set it up. I'm from Hollywood. I just make a few phone calls. I give out a few jackets, and which works, by the way. And I could get whatever I want, and it happens. And James Woods is super pissed about all of this immediately. And it's funny because I feel as the viewer, I totally get his point of view. Like, I'm on this case, and I have other things in my life, and now I don't want to deal with this guy. And the captain or the chief or whatever this guy's rank is,
captain.
Yeah, he's a captain.
Delroy Lindo.
Delroy Lindo.
Yeah,
from Romeo Must Die.
Damn right.
Yeah.
He just doesn't give a shit. No. I love this guy as his attitude, and then how openly he starts brandishing the merch that he gets throughout the rest of the film.
That's true. Is there just a big line of stereotypical 80s black captain police officers that just seem to be rampant in movies around this time? Some of them are hard yelling like, I can't believe you've done that, whoever you are. And some are kind of gentle like, nah, you're just going to do this for me. Come on, just do it. And this is kind of how he comes out in this movie. He's like, it's a mandate, just do it. You can't get out of it, and I can understand James Woods again.
I know, but then he kind of rubs it in James Woods' face.
He does. I kind of like that part of that. And James Woods deserves it. He's just kind of a ass that just needs more bullshit rubbed in his face.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, and the captain says, like, listen, whatever you're doing now, stop. Like, this guy can see no action, all right? You got to be, like, kid gloves with this guy.
Yeah, they
and that's very important because he's like, yeah, fuck, I'm not going to do that.
And I'm
going to get this guy almost killed a lot.
And that's the biggest thing, as Mike just noted, that they want him off the case, that he's becoming a liability. He's becoming obsessed with this case. Other people need to handle it. I don't really know why. I don't feel like he personally has done anything to really warrant that, but like whatever. So, I mean, we've seen a million cop movies. That's kind of the situation. Like, you're too rad, Mick Raddington. Like, I'm taking you off the case to chill out, and then you could become rad again. So he's super pissed, and Nick Lang immediately shows up. And I like one of Nick Lang's first opening comments. He's breathing it all in. He's like, the smells, the looks. And he says, it's like a movie. It's so real. And that's his view on on the police station.
In my notes, I have Michael J. Fox is dressed like a pedophile.
Yeah. He is doing that. That mustache is definitely...
Yeah, that mustache is not
setting
doing
off Amber
anyone
Alerts.
favors.
He does have that thin mustache and the glasses. Was he wearing a hat too? I think it was.
Just a wig.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of trying to pull
And
off a
everybody
circle.
knows who he is
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
They're like, that's Nick Lang.
That's true.
But shorter.
Yeah.
But shorter. So they think Nick Lang is taller in real life. So immediately, Michael J. Fox is a 9 out of 10 on the energy scale, all up in James Woods' face. When are we going to do this? I have some ideas. Let's work together. This is going to be great. We're both going to win. Like, this guy is just nonstop. Clearly, James Woods just doesn't even want to talk to anyone. He even follows him into the bathroom. His opening question is, do I get a gun?
Ask for a gun. What the fuck? That's the look James Woods gave him when he asked him for it in the bathroom, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I just want to mention he wanted to go under a code name. His name is Kasparov or Kaspanov. Just
I don't even
because
remember. Yeah.
he shows up and he's like, no,
Yeah.
my name's Kaspanov, just because he doesn't want to go under Lang.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
that? Yeah. I don't really. Is
Yeah,
that his
there's
name?
multiple
That,
parts
yeah,
of the
it
scene.
was that.
Ray
There's multiple parts
Kazanov.
where people call him
Kazanov.
Kazanov.
Yeah.
Kazanov, that's the name.
Yeah. So immediately, James Woods freaks out about this, goes right back to the captain, and the captain doesn't really want to hear it. He's playing it off. And then finally, James Woods thinks he won. He goes, he asked for a gun. He's like, you send him in here. And then Nick Lang comes in, Kazanov. But, clearly the captain is in the know. And he's like, so I just have one thing to say to you. My wife loves you. And right then and there, that starts this hard line that the captain is a huge sellout for Nick Lang. And I love it all throughout this movie.
Nick Lang's inviting him and his wife over to stay at the beach house for dinner.
Yeah, come and stay at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, when there's the premiere of the movie, you and your wife are going to stay with us. I'll roll out the red carpet. And he's like, okay.
And James Woods is not
Yeah,
stoked
he is
about
pissed.
this.
I'd be happy if people invited me to do something.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. When Delroy Lindo tells him that he has to stay with him, I believe his line is, maybe when my asshole learns how to chew gum. Which I thought was
That's one of the lines.
Yeah.
That's just my opening when I meet people. I
Right.
just thought that was polite. I don't know.
Yeah, we all need to bring that phrase back.
Is it back or make it exist?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
It
want
existed in this movie.
I don't
and
want
it needs to exist more often.
No, shut it down.
So when your child asks for something unreasonable.
Maybe
okay,
if my asshole learns how to choose gum.
Yeah. But the result is he's fucked. He has to stay with him. The Mikey and Woody team up is official.
Is this when they go to see the dead Romeos?
They go on an errand to go see the dead Romeos because how do I say, the ridiculous large gun has become a topic of conversation, and he thinks
It's the MacGuffin of this movie.
It's the MacGuffin, yeah. He thinks finding the gun maker is the way forward, and that he believes the dead Romeos will have this information.
I'm kind of down with this plan. This
it's
totally
legit.
makes
Makes
sense. Yeah, I think this is kind of a fun aspect of the film where this guy somehow is using custom weapons. And they're like, we need to find out who's making them. I'm like, all right, this seems totally logical. It's a good plan overall.
Yeah. You don't find that kind of plot in just your everyday buddy cop movie. I think it's kind of unique that they use this plot, and I like James Woods, the way he goes after the case, just kind of self-investigating. It's on his own, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna investigate these people, talk to these people.
I felt this part when they arrive in the ghetto though is that looks like a war zone completely.
It does.
It does. It's a
Nobody
bad
actually
neighborhood.
lives in the ghetto. Like, there's not a single person who lives there. It's
Right.
just like
Well,
buildings
that's where
toppled
they
down
that's where
and
they filmed
rubbish
Judgment Night.
and two gangs.
It is
That's
100% Judgment Night. Yeah.
It is Judgment Night. Yeah, Sarah, I was wondering because they were, like watching TV and stuff. I'm like, how do they even have electricity? Like, I'm not even joking. I mean, that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a serious.
Well, it doesn't matter because James Wood just fucking bashes their TV in with a baseball bat
That's right.
anyway.
Yeah.
So here's part of the fun with me in this film. I love Michael J. Fox. And I just feel he's cast so well because here's his role in this film. An oblivious actor who thinks money speaks louder than words. Do I think a lot of those people actually exist in real life? Yeah, I absolutely do. So for this guy to be so oblivious in any of the situations in the movie, I just feel Michael J. Fox like really pulls it off. I don't feel a lot of people could do this, especially with the backdrop is you've got a crazy killer. You also have like an intensely angry cop who's being portrayed well, in my opinion. So I don't know. Any of these bumbling scenes, it just had to have been taken with care. And I just feel the payoff is Michael J. Fox. That I don't know many people who could have maybe done it with his tact. I mean, imagine you get like a young Jim Carrey. This would have been over the top. This would have been like slapstick silly. I don't know. I just feel like it is from the acting of Michael J. Fox that this pulls off for me. And I like the scene.
I think that's true. I think he brings this kind of naive innocence to it, even though he's simultaneously this douchebag actor who's completely out of touch with reality. And I don't think there's many people that could kind of blend douchebag actor with innocent naivete. Like, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's
Totally.
But he does. He does it.
Which is like, which is endearing in a way. You're like, you poor son of a bitch, in a way. But you're like, dude, also like, you stupid son of a bitch. Like at the same time. So yeah, he's on a cell phone, dicking around, doing God knows what, narrating scenes. And James Woods goes to talk to the gang, the Dead Romeos. The Dead Romeos look like they could hang out with the Foot Clan. They look like they have some video games and TVs, and it's all fun until their place is shot up.
Yeah.
To me, too, there is definitely, like, I mean, watching this movie today, like, watching James Woods as the white cop come in with a baseball bat and just kind of start threatening to, like, knock the shit out of a bunch of kids was, like, I was like, this isn't really hitting in the same way.
Yeah, in the 90s, that's the go-to. Right, before de-escalation, there was, like, baseball bat to the head.
Right.
Sarah, we were talking about his character before. What if I just told you this wasn't even a scene from the movie?
I know. I did not know anything about James Woods, like, really, but I have to say that his rage in this movie, in this character, I'm not talking about the real James Woods, I felt was like, actually, I liked that about him.
Yeah.
It was relatable. Like, I mean, it opens with him essentially having really bad road rage in New York City. And I don't know, you just don't see that kind of unbridled rage.
In New York.
Like, I don't know, to me it was kind of refreshing.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the idea, you need some rage to like hunt down a killer, like fight fire with fire. Lamar and I have talked about, and even recently watched a Batman film that, the Joker and the Batman are two sides of the same coin. They're both psychos. Like, one is just saying, like, I do things for the good. And the Joker's like, I'm a crazy lunatic, and I totally own up to it.
Chaos.
Right. And, like, they both exist because of each other in a weird way. That's kind of, like, the mythos of Batman and the Joker. Yeah. But, yeah, I totally agree with Sarah that, like, usually we don't see just, like, rageful people anymore. We need more rageful people.
I agree.
We do.
I agree.
Unfortunately, I can't buy that James Woods is this tough guy. I appreciate the rage, but him trying to be tough and intimidating, I didn't get it out of this scene.
He's got those dead eyes.
Really?
He's got a lot of...
I bought it.
He's got a lot of rage in him, and I could see... There's a scene earlier where he's beating the shit out of a cigarette machine. I think it's earlier.
Yeah.
That one was kind of funny. It's like, this one he's coming in to these kids, and there's more than you think in here. How many Dead Romeos would you say were in here? At first, they show 4. But then the camera pans and you can see
10 maybe?
4 more, and then another set of 4, and then another set of 4.
There's a lot of Romeos here.
So
yeah, he walks in there, and he walks in there with just a baseball bat. Showing, hey guys, I'm gonna fuck you up, all right?
And he intimidates the room. I just didn't buy it, unfortunately. I do like the James Woods rage scenes, though. I can't play him as a tough guy. I just can't.
Well, so like outside of this apartment, while MJ is sitting in his car, like this Asian gang rolls up.
I want to see more of them. Honestly.
Yeah. They steal his cell phone, so he's unhappy about that.
Yeah, they're just like driving around in a truck, and they see him talking on his cell phone. My favorite scene is when the truck is backing up, and the four of them are just standing in the bed, like brandishing their weapons, waiting to mug this guy.
Yeah, I mean, and then he divulges everything. He's like, "Well, there's a cop upstairs, and he's talking to these gang members, and he's going to be back down."
He inadvertently starts a gang war,
as you do.
He does, and it happens, guys.
Yeah, I mean, he just gave out the.
Who hasn't started a gang war?
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, maybe.
Also, did you notice that one of the dead Romeos, the one sleeping on the couch, is I think a teenaged Mos Def?
Wow. Are you serious?
Really?
I'm gonna have to go back and check that out.
Oh my god,
that's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully, it's not one of those things where you got to get the magnifying glass out. Is that Mos Def?
No, you'll see it. If you're looking for it, you'll see him.
Right on.
Awesome. Yeah,
that's awesome. It's cool to be with the dead Romeos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I told you, it's like the Foot Clan layer, and then you hang out with Mos Def. I mean, also until your place is shot up.
Or you get
right.
James Woods breaking in with a bat.
We just don't have like a dude outside being like, "That's where they live," and pointing. Like,
yeah, that's
as long as you don't have that, then the truck keeps driving by. But then there's a weird turn. So they kind of find out. James Woods is like, okay, like one of the guys is like, there's this weird dude. He buys stuff, but like this is the guy who might be selling it to him. So he gives them a lead on who this gun maker might be. They get out. The place is dilapidated even more with it being shot up. And then there's just this odd moment of James Woods talking about a frog dog.
Well, they go to get the frog dog.
They
go to get the frog dog.
But
he's got to make a phone call on the hot dog phone.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the dialogue, it's like a 5-year-old dissecting food and saying the weirdest shit to it. He's like, "Oh, you gotta get the frog dog, and then you put in the frog. Oh, frog, frog, frog." And all he's really doing is putting like potato wedges.
Yeah, it's just a hot dog with some fries.
Yeah, and mustard.
And I feel like he's talking in some weird French accent or something.
What was that?
Well, I think it's supposed to be like an artistic place, because at first I'm like, oh, there's a hot dog stand in a junkyard. But if you look at like different scenes in that scene, like they are like metal sculptures that somebody has like welded together.
Yeah.
It's like
I noticed
it's
that
like
too. Yeah.
Huh.
And it's the guy, the hot dog guy. Like that's what draws you in, like the metal sculptures.
There's
when you get a shitty dog.
There's something weird about this scene. Like
Yes,
someone knew someone. They're like, get that guy involved. He's now a SAG actor. Like I don't know.
A SAG.
They're
all SAG actors.
I don't know what's going on. I don't. Yeah, that was super weird.
But yeah, James Wood makes a call on the hot dog phone. I don't know who he's talking to. I think it's his girlfriend. Maybe, I don't know.
No, he's trying to call his girlfriend, and
the daughter
gets a hold of the daughter, and she starts listing off a bunch of dudes' names.
Yeah.
Is this Eduardo?
And by daughter, you mean Christina Ricci?
Correct.
Boom.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. Is that her?
Damn,
Are
that's
you kidding
crazy.
me, Paul?
Wow, I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
The first ever acting.
She does not look anything like Christina Ricci.
No,
I don't mean that in a weird way.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who are like, wow, like that kid looked that way early and then grew up. And weirdly, I feel that way about Christina Ricci, just not in this movie. She just looked different. And yeah, that's her.
Damn.
And she's super young, but it just, if you showed me that picture and you're like, do you know who that is? I would not have said that was Christina Ricci. I had to look that up.
Oh, not at all. I'm glad you did. I would have never known.
I only knew it because her name was in the opening credits.
Damn.
And it was clearly the only 8-year-old girl in the movie.
Okay. And you didn't see Christina Ricci anywhere else
I did
in the
not.
background. There we go.
Maybe she was the original person narrating the frog dog sequence.
Maybe.
Like, oh, the frog dog. You gotta put the frog. So I'm so glad you heard that, because when I was watching, I was like, what is going on in this? Like someone's having a stroke. Stop filming. Like, call the paramedic. But yes, if anyone's watching this film, please watch that scene. It's super weird. And then Jeremy, I remember the setting that you were talking about too. It is weird.
I like this scene because, okay, so Nick Lang, the thing about him as a character is he's can read other people so well, right? So there's something like really distinctive about his character. And he says to Moss in this film, like, it basically gets right to the heart of it. And he's like, you know, I want to, he says something weird, like, I want to be you, I want to be inside you.
I want to get inside of your skin.
Yes, I want to get inside your skin. Thank you. That's it. Right? And Moss, of course, freaks out and says, no, I don't want you in there. That's private. That's private. But to me, I thought that dialogue was really smart because it gets right at the whole genre, right? The buddy film genre, which is really about this emotional core of the relationship between the two dudes. And I feel like Nickling right away is just like, oh, like, I need to get inside, you know, inside your skin and feel all these feelings that you have. And Moss is like, no, I can't do that. Like, I'm supposed to be this, you know, tough cop guy. And to me, that's like thematically like a huge part of the film. But it's also where a lot of the comedy of the film comes from, right? Because
it is.
That's constantly just like poking fun at all of those tropes.
Yeah, that's James Woods. His character is like, that's his growth pattern throughout this movie. And Michael J. Fox, has his own growth pattern. But yeah,
Nick, I mean, with the buddy comedies, it's definitely like each person is deficient or lacks something that the other person can actually teach them. And it's, you know, Michael J. Fox wants to become tough. He wants to become, you know, this real like focused, hard person, and he acknowledges that that is not his life and that is not how he grew up. And James Woods wants, in theory, a successful relationship, and he wants things to be harmonious because he clearly is like trying to make active movements to go on dates with this woman named Susan. He's like, I understand she's got a daughter, stuff like this. And this is where Michael J. Fox is like, you've got to bring the daughter on the date. Like, he's already giving him dating advice, and James Woods is really pissed off but intrigued. There are moments where James Woods actually listens. Like, you could like all bullshit, all pretense. He's like, what do you mean by that? And there are a couple other moments throughout the movie where he does let Michael J. Fox in, and I think his preference would have been, I'm glad I could talk to you for 5 seconds, and every now and then I would, but then when you show up in my life, I want to strangle you and murder you. So yeah, he doesn't like the show ups. And James Woods is kind of a jerk that way. Like, he just kind of selfish and just wants those 5-second interactions. But I get it, you know, to the extent of what this movie is.
Yeah, there are some scenes. I'm sorry, Jeremy.
So yeah, like after this junkyard hot dog frog scene, the party crasher is killed again, and Michael J. Fox gives James Woods like advice that he follows. He's like, "Hey, like, this guy's like he's this type of character. Like, demoralize him. Like, get on the air, demoralize him." And like,
give him a bad
and James Woods is like, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna do this, and he does, and it like affects the party crasher.
I actually have notes written down saying I think that's the first time I think these two have some real chemistry. If only Woods would like calm down. I think that's when he and Lang have the better interactions, where I just think James Woods is so fake, being all ragey and get out of my, get out of my skin. You can't get in there.
Well, this is where James Woods does give a big speech that comes back later. He's like, you stop mirroring me. Stop. I don't, as you guys said, like, I don't want you to be in my skin. And like the big thing was like, you're a Hollywood actor and you get 17 takes, and I put my life on the line, and real cops only get one take. They have one shot. Just remember that, because then Michael J. Fox is like, oh, that's good stuff. And says it on a tape recorder. James Woods throws that into oblivion. But that line is used later.
Yeah,
I didn't like that speech, honestly.
I like it later.
Yeah, I liked it later. His delivery of it was, it's like being a cop, and I'm not feeling it.
I'm gonna get you a James Woods T-shirt. I think you're a big fan.
I'm hate on James Woods until until they get some chemistry and he becomes a likable character.
Right. I mean, I feel like you're not really supposed to like that speech, though, right? I mean, it's kind of like part of the satire.
That's true.
It's purposely badly written.
Yeah, I think that's why I like the scene, just not the speech. So it achieved what it was supposed to do, which is me liking the scene.
Yeah. Well, going back, the bad review really triggers the party crasher. He doesn't like bad reviews.
Party crasher, this weirdo.
He's got a really cool apartment, though.
He does, James Woods.
No, the Party Crasher.
Yeah, with all those board games.
They both have cool
They
apartments.
both do, yeah.
Yeah. Which was weird. Yeah, the Party Crasher's apartment is like almost like the new version of the Batcave in Christopher Nolan's version, where he's underground in like a white layer of light. And he's like, it's all white, it's very clean, and he's just surrounded by all these board games. He's playing electronic games, he's playing chess and Battleship against himself. It's kind of weird. James Woods, you would think, cop movie, this guy lives like a slob, he's angry. No, like super cool.
Yeah,
like
well put together.
Yeah.
like kind of like this jazzy vibe apartment. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Treat him well, both of them.
When he gets back, he's pissed off that all of his answering machine messages are from Michael J. Fox. And it's just,
like
what do
chicks,
people call him?
chicks
Yeah,
trying to get a hold of Michael
Yeah.
J. Fox.
they know where he's at. Well, now we have this is good radio. James Woods goes on a date because the last message is from Susan?
Yeah, they're going to Sal's Pizza.
Going to Sal's Pizza. Daughter's coming along, but Michael J. Fox shows up as well.
And why wouldn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
happens to show.
He happens to show up. He didn't go with him.
And this is their fourth date.
Yeah,
They're
it's the fourth
talking
date.
about, and she knows nothing about him at all. Like,
But we also learned that James Wood followed Michael J. Fox's advice because the daughter is on this date at the bar.
Yeah.
that's true.
And as you guys pointed out, Michael J. Fox was so good at reading people. He says, give the Party Crasher a bad review. I just want to note, he says something else later in the movie about what the Party Crasher would do next, and he is correct about it. That Michael J. Fox has a full read on the Party Crasher and who this person is. Just
Well, first of all, I want to know how this conversation went with Susan. Like, hey, let's go out. Let's get a couple drinks. Let's go to a bar and get a couple drinks. Oh, and by the way, bring your daughter along.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Because
supposed to
they're
be
at
a
a
pizza
full-blown bar.
parlor,
Yeah, they're at
though.
a bar.
I think it's like a pizza
supposed to be a
place.
pizza
I know
shop.
there's people eating
Well,
pizza in
is
the
it
background.
what kind of
I
pizza
think
parlor is
that
it?
has a
Exactly. I
bar.
don't know.
Story
You're
pizza
right.
parlor?
Yeah.
Well, with the clientele that shows up, which we'll get to in a second, I totally
Louis
agree.
Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree that I think it was supposed to be more innocent. Like, oh, well, let's all go get some pizza together, and I mean, clearly they serve beer. And
Right. Maybe it was like a Fat Sully Atomic Cowboy. Kind
Yeah.
of
There we go.
But then there is another cut scene of the Party Crasher in between, and you just see him freaking out. So he recorded the bad review on his VHS, and now he's rewinding it and fast forwarding it like he was using the Talk Boy from Home Alone 2. And he keeps rewinding and fast forwarding what James Woods is saying, and he's like, from me to you, from me to you.
Yeah, and he has like an avocado beauty mask
Yeah,
on.
he's got like the mud mask on.
I love it.
He's
like
playing like a custom video game that he made of him
Looks
killing James
really
Woods.
terrible.
yeah, that game looks like it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he with the avocado mask, he reminds me like he could easily be a weird Die Hard villain.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he amps
Yeah.
himself up because it's like, from me to you, from me to you. No, from me to you, from me to you. I was like, man, your neighbors hate you.
I don't know what this guy's name is, but I like this actor for the most part.
Stephen Lang.
Stephen Lang, yeah.
Yeah, he plays some good characters
Yeah.
in movies.
Paul, you and I saw this years ago. Like, blind guy beats up people robbing his house.
Yeah.
Blind Fury.
Yeah.
I don't think it was called that.
I think it might be Blind Fury.
I don't think it's that, but there's a sequel to it. There's a one and there's a
Yes.
sequel to it as
no,
well.
No. There's another movie. There is a movie called Blind
Okay.
Fury. There
this
is
is not that movie.
That's with Rutger Hauer, I think.
Yeah,
Whatever his name
yeah,
is.
Rutger Hauer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't Breathe. This movie's called Don't Breathe.
Which, Mike,
Don't
we've
Breathe,
also
that's
seen
right.
Blind Fury.
we have seen Blind Fury, but that's not what this movie is.
Yeah, Don't Breathe.
Don't confuse the two.
Yeah, I mean, he was in Avatar, which sucked, but that's fine. But I just everything that he said, I didn't like his stupid voice.
Yeah, I can see that, definitely. I'm glad his scenes
No.
were cut
I mean,
short.
I know he was supposed to be crazy,
He doesn't
but it
talk
was-
a lot, and I'm seeing that he's only talking just to convey that he's insane. So
Yeah.
he's only got a couple lines talking.
Well, thank God for
What
him.
was
Thank
he
goodness
what
for
was
that.
He talking from me to you?
I would have had William
That's a
Dafoe
promise
play
from me
this
to you.
character.
What that who?
What?
William Dafoe. I would have
Oh,
had
yeah.
William
Oh,
Dafoe play
man.
this character.
Good
Oh,
choice.
that'd be great.
How do you think that pizza was?
It looked pretty good.
Yeah.
It was radical.
Well, a bunch of drunk dudes come in as Nick Lang is making headway and clearly charming Christina Ricci. He's really funny. And James Woods is getting a little worked up over this. And then a bunch of drunk dudes come in. They say really inappropriate shit and then start pulling down their pants. Like, what the shit is going on here?
1991 was a different time.
Like, I'm glad a cop was there. Like, what? Like, these 4 weird business dudes come in, and they're clearly drunk as hell. Like, all right. And they say inappropriate stuff, but, like, all of a sudden they're, like, mooning people, and, like, then it's super bizarre.
Broheim. That was the Broheim.
Just some grown men enjoying their pizza in their own way.
Then they're all arrested, and then Nick has to take Susan and the daughter home, and...
Wait, can we stay in that scene for a second? Because I really like that they take some digs at Mel Gibson in this scene. There's so many digs at him in the movie because, of course, because of Lethal Weapon and all that. But I think it's in this one. Christina Ricci of course, his joke says she likes Mel Gibson more than Nick Lang, which is part of the joke. But there's like other great Mel Gibson jokes, and one has to also do with a butt, which is like earlier in the movie when Nick Lang hears that they're thinking of casting Mel Gibson in the police film that he really wants the part really badly in, and he's like, what is this going to be? Is this about asses? Is this going to be a butt film? And to me, that was just one of the funniest lines in the movie.
This is all,
oh, man.
Oh, my God. And this, like, dates it, too, Sarah. Just, like, noting that. Like, we're going to talk about rival dude butts and, like, how we're going to get roles. And people are bringing up Michael J. Fox or Mel Gibson. This would be like would be like the YM quiz that, like, my neighbor would be taking when I was, like, in 8th grade. This is so ancient ago. Like, if I said this to, like, a 16 to 18-year-old youth on the street, they'd be like, who are either of those people? And what's YM and what are magazines?
It's like Tiger Beat.
It's not. But it could be. We should do a Rabbit Troop Sucks quiz. You know, like, who are you more like? Are you more like a Mike? Or are you like Mike's Mike from, Volunteers? Or are you the town Jeremy?
So we are like the Sex and the City characters, basically.
Yes.
I don't even know what series of questions would lead you down the path of being a town Jeremy.
The end resolve is you're a racist for taking the quiz and you never should have done it, so shame on you.
That's the end result for all of them.
Yes.
No matter how you answer, that's just it.
Other results maybe like give us access to like your bank routing numbers and we just like make quote unquote donations. You could donate.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my bank routing number on the Facebook page tomorrow.
I would appreciate that. I'm sure no one stumbling by in the weird online space that is social media
what's this
would
number?
use this for nefarious reasons.
It'll turn out wrong. I can just feel it.
So after the fucking shoddy bankers get taken down, James Woods like, I got to take these guys in. Sorry, Susan or whatever the fuck her name is.
It's Susan.
Hey, look at me. Peace out. Maybe Michael J. Fox can walk you home. She's like, he's a cop too. Why can't he just bring him downtown? He's like, he just can't. I don't know. Shut up. So they kind of part ways, and then we reconvene later. James Woods is getting mega drunk in a bar.
In a real bar. Not a pizza bar.
Yeah, he's 5 Boilermakers deep by the time Michael J. Fox walks in.
and by real bar, I mean like TGI Fridays, maybe Applebee's.
Yeah, it's kind of weirdly colorful in the back.
The best Boilermakers are from TGI Fridays.
Oh, yeah.
You get an Awesome Blossom, and you get, a bunch of Boilermakers.
Yeah.
And then you make your way to the alley and die.
Right.
And that was your evolution.
As soon as he finishes his lava cake, he can. But Michael J. Fox shows up, and they kind of have a little heart-to-heart, sort of. Michael J. Fox tries to do some role-playing with him. Like, I'm going to be Susan, and you have to, like, kind of come clean with me. Tell me what's going on. Like, she doesn't know who you are, because you're a dick.
One of the things James Woods says is really weird in this. He goes, "Are you a Scientology guru?"
I didn't catch that. Wow.
I actually rewound it to make sure that's what he said.
Wow.
What it is. And I was like, oh,
I wonder
okay.
what's going on there. And,
I don't know. Some early weird form of things
Yeah.
that creep in.
Yeah. I don't want them in. I don't want them creeping.
No.
And then they start role playing. You know,
Yeah.
that's that gets exciting.
I was starting to open up to James Woods in this scene now. My hatred of him was slowly going down. I did like this scene.
Lamar, your road of James Rhodes in this movie, I would have never foreseen.
He's taking an interesting path with me in this movie. I gotta say, he's taking a left turn.
This guy's like a wild card for
Yeah, he's taking a left
This
turn.
movie should be renamed to like How Lamar Learned to Love James Woods.
Wait a minute. Well, it's not finished now.
Yeah.
Keep going. Let's keep going.
Wow. And he will. Yeah, and James Woods gets really weirdly into this. Honestly, everything that Nick Lang is saying is completely accurate. I mean, he is over the top portraying to be Susan, but everything he is saying is pretty spot on. And James Woods is actually very aware of this, like, immediately. I'm sure the many Boilermakers is helping, but he is taking everything very seriously. And you think Nick has broken some ground, that maybe they become friends. Hard cut, next day, Nick Lang is handcuffed to a pull-out mattress bed.
Yeah, and not in a sexy way, in a leave me alone way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because James Woods has gone after the gun maker.
That is correct.
He's following that lead, and simultaneously, Michael J. Fox is just trying to make his way to the bathroom.
Hey, am I nuts in that this gun maker is also like Rastafarian gang leader in Predator 2?
Ooh, wow. That's a good call.
That
I haven't
is.
seen Predator 2 in a while. This guy's voice
Yeah,
is
oh
very
yeah,
familiar
he
for
really
me.
stands out. This, I believe his name is Whitaker, and his voice just kind of stands out in a certain way. It's kind of deep but low, and just odd character altogether.
Yeah, I like the Gunmaker. As I said before, I like that for whatever reason. I like it. Is this adds a little, I don't know, special, I don't know, like exposition to the story that this guy was really into making guns. This is a way to like search him out. I don't know. There's just something kind of cool about it. Like in Die Hard, he doesn't wear shoes and takes them off and has to run through glass and stuff like this. For me, this movie is. You want to write a tighter backstory is there's a gunmaker and the psycho killer is really good in everything. He just doesn't make his own weapons. He needs a specialty person to do that. I don't know. I just think it's kind of cool. And the gunmaker himself just talks, as I said, I recognize his voice, very husky, very wispy, very labored, his breathing, but it's very, I don't know, like metronomic as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Also,
Yeah, he's
very
alright.
random that his daughter's with him at work that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was
Which
an
is-
explanation for it. I didn't really focus on the scene. I think he says something to the effect of, I'd like to have my daughter close to me while I work. I believe that was his line.
That's what I
Yeah.
say when I'm a criminal. Hey, here's my uncle, here's my wife.
Yeah, don't do this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're conducting
Yeah.
illegal gun sale. I just like to have my
like-
daughter here
At the
with me.
playground.
Also, if you ever need to harm me, you've now met some key players in my life. So like,
Right.
like here's some photos. Do you want to become Instagram friends? You know?
And then
Like,
I think he's like,
that's
oh,
like-
she's with me once a month, which is just.
It's like the guys that run
very
like
random.
gun deals out of like ice cream trucks. Like, oh yeah, I deal with kids and adults.
What's your pleasure?
James Woods passes himself off as a very passionate man because he basically highlights that he wants to kill Nick Lang without just using his name, but gives the same backdrop. The gunmaker respects that and highlights, I'll make you a gun. And then they go privately talk, and James Woods reveals, well, I'm a cop, and we're not
I am a
going to
cop.
bust this guy. And even the gunmaker is alarmed.
Yeah, he's
that
like,
the
he is a
party
piece of
crasher-
shit, dude.
Yeah. He's
This
like,
guy.
he's like he seems alarmed. Like, this guy's a psycho. Like, one, we do not want to like tread lightly with this guy. I also didn't know he was using this. I just thought
I thought he was a gun nut.
Yeah, I just thought he was gun nut. That's like that's a literal quote. I'm like, all right.
And he was.
Yes.
He was that.
Yeah.
Simultaneous to all this, Michael J. Fox, back at the apartment, the phone rings and it's Susan who wants to take Mike out for lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they go, and he thinks, that she's flirting. She is not. I'm just kind of cutting it short on a little bit on this scene. And he basically gives advice about John overall, and like John's a good guy, and he's just follow your heart and all of this. And he gives her we are cops and we only have one take at this, and we're not Hollywood actors. So this is his little warm up with that speech that I noted before, which is not done yet. That speech will come back again. That cops only have one take in life, and then they go to the subway station to part ways, and there's real criminal activity happening on the subway, which is really weird.
Well, troublemakers are always going to be on subways.
Yeah, it was like 3 street toughs robbing people.
Yeah, they took it too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Susan's like, hey, this guy's a cop. He'll help. And like, play it cool, bitch.
Yeah. I like that he does not have a gun. He has a rubber gun that was established before.
A squeaky rubber gun.
Squeaky rubber
But
gun, yeah.
luckily,
Like a dog toy.
luckily, everyone else on the subway also has guns. So,
Yeah, every fucking person in this streetcar has a gun. Like, where would that come from?
yeah, I like that. That was like clearly zany, and it was like every person you would imagine, in New York. It's like the pizza delivery boy, the rabbi. Like everyone just like pulls out a gun like it's a slapstick comedy.
Right, yeah. Everyone's got a Derringer.
And isn't the one guy on the train is Matt Damon, right?
What?
It's the guy that gets in the shootout.
Are you
with, is
kidding
Matt
me?
Damon.
It looked a lot like
Isn't
him,
it?
but I don't know.
Wow.
I want answers.
I'm looking this up right now.
Louis
I
Black,
need to know.
Matt Damon.
Sarah, I'm with you. At first, I also thought it was Matt Damon. I did not look it up.
If this turns out to be Matt Damon, my mind is going to
Better not be.
Mine too.
Well,
That'd be amazing.
as this is being researched, this is taken off the subway and into just the station itself. And basically, Nick is powerless, and the thug is shooting at him, and the gun jams. And luckily, Susan is called for reinforcements, and John is there. And John, in this crazy, weird zombie walk, just walks towards the one of the dudes shooting, and the gun is jammed. He takes the gun out. He makes an arrest and highlights to Nick that, hey, you thought he was out of bullets. Well, it was a misfire, and then just randomly shoots in the subway station to prove his point that the gun does in fact work. And
Well, he shoots a picture of him.
yeah,
Like, right in the
yeah.
face.
Yeah, in the shootout, so many magazines of Michael J. Fox. Get shot.
Yeah, he was on
yeah.
Playboy and like Esquire. He was Michael J. Fox is the big hit, or Nick Lang. Mm-hmm. Just only shorter.
Yes.
I think it's him. There's a YouTube video coming up that's a clip of the movie that we're talking about, and it says James Wood versus Matt Damon.
So somebody else saw Matt Damon
That's
back there, and they're like,
So
"This
I
is
don't know.
Matt Damon."
Is that I don't know how reliable that is, but
And who would win in a fight between James Woods and Matt Damon?
Matt Damon.
There. we
oh no,
go.
yes, Subway thug Matt Damon.
Ah,
It is Matt
Oh, really?
Damon. Yes,
What the
Good.
fuck?
It
Wow.
is? Oh my
it
god!
really is.
damn.
Good job, Sarah.
Good.
I don't.
Put you on the research crew.
Oh my god! No, I don't know what
that's
to say about
awesome.
any of
All right.
this.
That is
Who wasn't in this movie?
our minds are blown.
Yeah, seriously, yeah.
That is crazy.
You've upset the whole dynamic.
Well, now we're back at the police station.
I can't concentrate. Wow.
They're retelling the shooting stories to all the cops, and then they go out on some stakeout, right?
Yeah, they're going to meet the gunmaker.
Yeah.
Or they're going to meet the gunmaker to meet with the party crasher.
And the party crasher is 30 minutes late, and the gunmaker is not down with this. He's like, something is wrong. This guy's never late. He's 30 minutes late. And God, that guy, the party crasher creeps up on the van like a gorilla.
We have skipped an entire.
I think we
crucial
have,
scene.
yeah.
What do we see?
So this is the fake meeting with the
Yeah,
With the
it's
gunmaker.
right before this.
where they go into like some abandoned building, and they James Wood goes upstairs, tells Michael J. Fox to hang out. A dude runs out, and Michael J. Fox has a gun at this point, a real gun, and he shoots this guy.
Oh yeah.
He shoots this guy dead.
For some reason, I thought this was after this.
and starts freaking the fuck
Yeah.
out. And James Wood comes out. He's like, "Oh shit! Like this guy's dead. You shot him with a police gun. You know what? You just got to get out of here. Like I'll take the heat for this."
Yeah.
There's a quick cut to him at the airport. Like us were going back to LA. He's like, we gotta get you out of here right away.
Yeah, this is insane. It's like super quick and super intense.
Yeah,
and
it is.
And it's good because I feel it's kind of shoved in the audience's face so quickly you cannot digest it.
Right.
Which is good. Which is good.
Yeah, and
because that's like what they did to Michael J. Fox.
Right.
They're like, all right,
he
put him in
thinks
this
he killed
situation.
somebody.
Oh my God, I killed somebody. Fuck, let's get you. Dude, you got to get the fuck out of here. Get to the airport. I'm going to drive you to the airport. Let's go. And then but Michael J. Fox at some point is like, you know what? I'm not going to give up.
I can't let him take the heat for this. I got to go turn myself in because he can't live with it. And he goes back to the police station and he overhears all of the other cops just fucking clowning on him, including the guy that he thought he shot was like an actor or was a cop that was acting, about getting shot.
So my only two gripes with all of these scenes are, first, he was an actor. He was fooled by these cops who were putting on this scene. I just thought that was weird.
Yeah.
And he just came in at the exact right time that he's telling the story of how he was fooled. Like, he drove back from the airport, and he got there just in time to hear the whole story. Like, I get it that's...
Lamar, they were telling that story for 5 hours straight.
That's how I feel like they were doing it, like, over and over again. And he's just
people
like...
were clocking in. They're like, you're mid-shift? All right, I have a story to tell you.
And they're all jovial, laughing about how much... It really just makes them feel bad because they're just all having a laugh at just how idiotic he bit into the scene.
Yeah, I just had this in reverse order. Yeah, because after this happens, then there is the gun maker, and the dude shows up and just gasoline hoses it all down. That the party crasher comes in, he's like, I know people are watching me, and just goes, Zoolander ape shit nuts with that that gas hose.
Yeah.
and that's a fun time.
He's taking it up a notch, Party Crasher has.
I actually kind of like this scene, and I have a note about this, and this is literally the fucking last note that I took because like I just got back in. I was like, I gotta fucking finish this movie before we get on here. But I love this scene because the party crasher's like, dude, I'm not a criminal, man. He's like, I'm doing the same thing you're doing, James Woods. Like, you're just like me.
Dude,
and that's a lot of alliteration throughout the whole movie, is that the party crasher and James Woods are literally like almost the same person, but the party crasher shows no growth where James Wood is starting to finally show growth.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's like, I killed a drug dealer, I killed a transvestite, which I think we were meant to think was a killable offense in the early 90s.
It's the 90s. It's Saved by the Bell era,
Yeah, and James Wood's like, you also killed a 9-year-old girl. And he's like, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, he used a pawn metaphor.
Yeah.
There's just a pawn in the game.
Yeah.
But it's Dexter. I mean, everyone loves a vigilante, especially when they think they're killing bad people, which... I mean, is a more compelling villain. You're like, oh, okay.
In a sense,
I love Dexter, though.
Kind of just
Dexter was a fantastic vigilante.
Yeah, I mean, so everyone's kind of rooting in this weird way. And this guy's under the delusion that it's all good. It's all justified. Yeah. So, yeah, I like the villain. I think that's a big selling point for me in this film, that this dude is crazy.
Yeah.
On many levels, which is interesting. And you want to know more about it. I
like that scene because he's kind of just rationalizing his madness. You can't buy into it because it's just insane. Woods called him out on killing that 4-year-old, and he lost me at, she was just a pawn. Right. Like, okay, I can't buy into you. You're insane, but he's trying to at least reason with Woods.
Yeah.
So here's a question I have. The next time we cut to Nick Lang, he's just driving in a police car.
Yeah.
So
I wrote that down as well. When he leaves the police station, all butthurt, he just gets into a police car and leaves.
Right. So I wrote, he's committing crimes now.
Like, who's giving him these cars?
Apparently, he has authority to just take whatever he wants.
Well, Captain Delroy Lindau really loves him. Maybe he's like, what? Just take whatever you want. You've been driving around in the Boss Hog car all day. You can have a real car now.
Oh yeah, what is that car, Mike? You really don't know?
I have no idea. I feel like you should have chandeliers.
Oh, we forgot to fucking mention that car. That's a real goddamn shame because it was a that was a big car.
Oh, that
was
car,
a
that
big
Lincoln
car.
Continental they were driving.
Yeah.
That
was
blue
okay.
and white. I love that color scheme. The gaudy amount of horns on top of the hood when they
Like that's
roll
right
around.
out of Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Like if Dallas, Texas was a car, that is the fucking car right there.
Yeah. It had like yacht antennas on it. Yeah.
I love that car, I gotta admit.
Well, the Party Crasher makes his way to the movie theater showing Smoking Guns 2, which is Nick Lang's big film. So he's running all over the streets and, fun enough, makes his way in the theater. I like all of the scenes in the theater, especially that kid eating popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
That kid,
Yeah.
the fucking kid. He's like, I'm not fucking leaving, man.
Probably the best scene in the movie.
So there's like the Party Crasher is now shooting it out. James Woods is there. Nick Lang is there as well. Basically just saying, watch out, giving directions, etc. Everyone's freaking out. Do I think anyone would write and or film a theater shooting scene for comedy purposes in 2023
Not anymore.
and above? I do not.
Not anymore.
I wrote this would not hold up. It's a fun scene, but like unfortunately the world
Oh, I
is
was
so
thinking
shitty.
the same thing.
Yeah. And
When I
welcome to
was
Colorado.
watching this scene, I was like, there is no fucking way that this would be filmed
Yeah.
in today's society.
I mean, as Colorado, like soon will, or I shouldn't say soon, like we'll never forget the theater shootings. Clearly, like national devastation. That like no one would make light of this. Clearly, this is before this kind of mass epidemic of shootings. But I had fun with it. Yeah. So like the theater's clearing out, and as noted. One kid is just actively watching all of this happening and watching the screen and just actively eating popcorn like none of this is going on.
It's a 4D movie.
A lot of times, Michael J. Fox is almost reenacting what his character is doing on the screen. His character's jumping vine to vine. He's jumping rope to rope. And then, the Party Crasher gets away kind of again.
And I like how the music in the movie within a movie is like a bad version of the Back to the Future theme song, basically.
You're right.
Yeah, totally. That's so sad.
But that it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How do they work their way up? They're just like basically going up, right?
Yeah, they get out of the theater, I think.
Oh no! Wait, we're skipping the thing again. Like they stop him. They stop the Party Crasher. Like there's a shootout and everything's.
Yeah,
okay
they shoot him in the shoulder.
Yeah.
And Michael J. Fox goes to leave, but like the Party Crasher's in the back seat of his police car that he still has.
Yes, again, Michael J. Fox is
like,
going to leave in his police car.
That police car is yours.
Yeah.
Like Nick Lang, that is your
another
police car.
a different. I feel like
He's
that's
just-
a different
he's got a
police
bunch
car.
of them, yeah.
Just take the
Jeremy,
random
you
one.
say that jokingly, but I bet for enough Smoking Gun 2 jackets, that captain would have given up an old cop car.
Oh, no
for a
doubt.
buddy, of course.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Listen, I'll give you my car for a Rabbit Troop Sucks sweatshirt. All right.
Done.
Okay.
Done and
Actually,
done.
so I bought a T-shirt and a sweatshirt, and they should be on their way here shortly.
All right, that was you.
Wait,
Yeah,
did you buy?
That was me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mike,
Yeah.
Mike knows.
Right on.
Mike's like, oh, look at this motherfucker. Somebody bought something.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited about
All
it.
of you can go to the webpage, rabbittroopsucks.com, buy a shirt.
Dude, if you are one of the thousands of listeners out there, regardless of which country you're in, buy a Rabbit Troop Sucks.
Yeah, we'll ship international.
Sweatshirt, T-shirt, yeah, just buy it.
And by we don't have to. We just go through that company and they do it for us.
Yeah,
So
it's on Threadless. They'll do it. We have a couple designs. A new one in the works.
I also have a new one in the works, I think, for you. I just
Okay.
have to see if it actually pans out the way I want it to, if it was on a shirt. We'll
Okay.
talk about it.
Yeah. Let me know.
Fancy. I like what I'm hearing.
Yeah, a whole line.
Yeah.
It could be your whole wardrobe.
Yeah.
Walking down the street with Rabbit
Hat,
Troop Sucks.
sunglasses, sweatshirt,
Sure.
socks.
Yeah.
Why stop at
Rabbit
clothes?
Yeah.
You could
Rabbit
be
Troop
eating-
Sucks, Air Force
umbrella.
Ones.
You could be eating our peanut butter paste.
Lunchbox.
What was that from No Escape? The nut butter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The
the nut butters.
Boom. Rabbit Troop Sucks.
Rabbit Troop Sucks go.
Rabbit Troop Sucks nut butter.
It
Damn.
contains ingredients.
That's all you can say about that.
Yeah, so the party crasher is in the back of an ambulance, and then not, and then takes over a police car, and
Oh boy,
Nick goes crazy.
Yeah.
And,
well, they proceed to drive through New York's porcelain district.
Oh, of course.
Where just in the middle of the road there are shelves with pots and like jars on them. He crashes through all those. But yeah, he's freaking the fuck out. He's like, I'm just gonna fucking drive real fast.
Yeah.
And you can suck it.
He's like, you want to shoot me? Fucking shoot me. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
We see a Kieran beer sign, which is just everywhere in these final scenes.
that's true.
Brought to you
Yeah.
by Kieran Beer. Kieran, contact us.
Oh yeah,
I like your beer.
I don't know if they paid for that spot, but I wanted a Kieran after watching this.
I wanted to be the Kieran rider.
Hell yeah.
Do you?
No, there's too many ghosts.
Sick of these Japanese ghosts haunting me all the time. Well, now they're making their way up to that smoking sign.
Yeah.
This is leading us to the end of the movie, where I like it. I mean, it's very predictable. Someone falls down. Someone's trying to get someone else. Susan's all of a sudden there. Susan shouldn't be there, but she was captured by...
he captures her.
Yeah, by the party crasher. And that was something that was noted from Nick Lang that I said before, that he warns John, like, hey, this is going to be his final act. He's going to hurt you in some way. And he ends up taking Susan. They go up to the sign. And then she's falling down. And then John is able to save her. But then the party crasher is there. And then it's basically Nick and Susan trying to get out from off this rooftop, which is, I don't know, like 30 stories up. It seems huge. Maybe less than that. But yeah, eventually.
So I honestly have a problem with this scene. Like, I don't have a problem with it, but like Susan's only ploy in this movie was as a like this end scene. That's her only purpose for existing in this role, is to be in this end scene.
Yeah.
And it really didn't need to be, because this end scene could have played out just fine with just James Woods and Michael J. Fox.
I feel like James Woods has something to fight for. He needed something to fight for as well.
Yeah, it was part of his growth.
And just not like, he just couldn't be just an aimless, irritable cop. He had to have something that he had to grow for and something to fight for as well. And I think this is the fight for moment where he's kind of fighting for Susan in this moment.
Well, he's about to get the upper hand because he's about to shoot John in this moment, and he is distracted by Nick. Nick comes in, and luckily, Nick is then, well, I shouldn't say luckily and open with that. Nick is shot, but luckily he's shot in the shoulder. But he goes down hard, and then John finishes off the party crasher, and then he also...
By throwing him off the roof.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, a brutal death, like, oof, right off a rooftop.
What did he land in, by the way? Was that a, like, lingerie, like, glass cage on the back of a truck?
Yeah, it looked like they were about to put... You're totally right. It looked like they were about to put in, like, an art exhibit, like... when they would like model all the mannequins and they would be doing something like advertising in something in a grandiose way. I don't know why that would be in a glass box like that. That was super weird.
Yeah, he got cut the fuck up though.
Yeah, but he's dead. And I do like the scene where Nick is basically like bleeding out for a moment, because James Woods is very direct. He's like, you shouldn't have saved me. And Nick Lang is like, we're buddies or whatever it is. And he's like, well, you're going to regret that decision and anything else in about the next 5 seconds, because he's highlighting you're about to feel that bullet shot. And it sucks. Like, Michael J. Fox is not looking like he's having a good time. It looks like he's shot. So that's a bummer.
Yeah.
But then it leads right into a finale scene, which I love.
The finale scene is them watching the movie of this.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Well, Michael J. Fox's interpretation of this.
That's true.
And he leaves off with that speech. We only get one take, and he's talking to the rookie cop who, shouldn't have known anything. He's like in a weird dark warehouse. I don't know. It looked like he was on an X-File. And then, he like lights a cigarette and walks off, and like the credits roll. You can see the captain is wearing the movie title, and it's like the good, the badge, the ugly. I love that the captain has more merch. Like he's so
Delroy.
yeah, like he's like that dude checked out the moment he met Nick Lang. I love it. I love it.
You forgot what song was playing as the credits rolled. Mama said, "Knock you out."
Oh my god, yeah, that's right. Bringing it back.
Brought it back. I think LL Cool J had a quip at the end too. I totally forgot, but that's how this movie ended.
Real bad guys, real bullets, real blood.
Good tagline.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. That's kind of the end. And then James Woods is pissed off because he's like, those are the lines. I said those things. Those are my lines. And everyone just starts shushing. I'm like, come on, dude, just get over it. Like, you're so full of yourself. And especially the captain, as you see. And that is just straight up how that movie ends. Before we get to the final synopsis or reviews for all of us, feel free to reach out to us again, rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. Or go to our website proper, rabbittroopsucks.com. Hit us up on social media, Instagram, Facebook. If you have any movies that you want to suggest to us, let us know. And as we've talked about before, especially some Halloween films. If you got some ideal Halloween films, let us know. What do you all think about The Hard Way?
Oh, who's going first? Who's Sarah? Sarah's going first.
I really like The Hard Way. I think that I love Michael J. Fox in it. I think that his willingness to make fun of himself throughout the whole film is really endearing. I don't know that that's something that we talked about that much, but, you know, I mean, in a lot of ways, the character of Nick Lang is based on the character of on Michael J. Fox, like on his career. You know, I mean, I think there's obviously clear differences between Nick Lang as a character and Michael J. Fox as a person, but just kind of how he's this actor who rises to, you know, meteorite level fame, and then he kind of does these light roles, right? Like he doesn't do these deep, serious roles. And so I think there's all these parts where there's all these jokes about him trying to turn into this serious actor and do these serious things, and just making fun of his level of fame. I know, like, when you watch the Michael J. Fox documentary, he talks about this, like, just getting, like, crazy famous overnight and walking up to a newsstand and seeing his face on so many magazines. And he says, it's, you know, I saw all these different versions of myself, but none of them were the real version at all. And then seeing that and then watching this movie, there's just, like, a lot of parallels there for me.
Wow.
I 100% need to watch
I completely agree with you, yeah.
And yeah, and the other thing, like, that he talks about in the documentary a lot is how much he used to always run everywhere, like, even as a young kid. And it's true, like, he's always, like, racing, like, through all the scenes in all of his movies. Like, if you think about it, right, he just, like, that's part of his energy, I think, is he just races around on set all the time.
I bet there's a compilation footage of Michael J. Fox running in movies. Just he can probably add it up to like 5 miles.
Yeah.
Set to Mama Said Knock You Out.
I want to see Michael J. Fox and Tom Cruise like have a race.
But yeah, I like it. It's like the film's endearing to me in a lot of ways. So those are some of the ways. Also, when you were talking about the final sequence when he gets shot, Michael J. Fox gets shot, and I was thinking, so there's like a Simpsons episode where they do a spoof on this movie, but it's actually James Woods.
Do they really?
Yeah, and James Woods is the special guest star of the episode, and he comes to Springfield because he's going to be starring in a movie about a convenience store, and so he shadows Apu, right? And then in the end, like, Apu takes a bullet and saves the life of James Woods.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sarah,
The fact that
I
there's
feel
a
you just
Simpsons
dropping
episode
like
about this fucking movie is crazy.
I think Sarah just dropping like knowledge of the Simpsons episodes. Was like you are now welcome back to Rabbit Troop episode.
That is crazy.
I'm gonna go next because mine's gonna be short and sweet. I picked this movie. I really like it. I feel we discuss. This podcast is about obscure, overlooked, or often forgotten about films, or some order of those words. I really feel this movie is not brought up in Michael J. Fox's career a lot, and maybe again it was just because of that dying buddy comedy. but I feel he's often clearly brought up Back to the Future, some other films as well. Then he becomes a voice actor, and that becomes, a dominant part of his career. But I think this movie is an unsung hero. I love all the Rush Hour series. I think these movies are very similar to this movie. You get two people who are opposites but work well together. That is pretty solid. And so, yeah, I think this movie's super fun. Mike, I'm putting it up to you.
Yeah, I don't really have a ton to say. I've seen this movie before. I like it a lot. Yeah, I mean, I think it holds up. I think it keeps up with the other buddy comedy movies of the era. I mean, I think I probably like Lethal Weapon a little bit more. But like this is there. It's good. It's got the people in it. It's kind of fun. It's probably more of a comedy than the other ones.
Right.
Also, this was a rated R movie, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many Michael J. Fox movies are rated R?
Probably.
Not many.
Casualties of War and this one?
Yeah, maybe one other.
Yeah.
Bright Lights, Big City. Definitely rated R.
I'm wondering if that was kind of a reason why it wasn't as successful. Like,
yeah, sure. That people like want a family-friendly Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, like this wasn't the Michael J. Fox that people were looking for. Maybe?
I don't know. I think Lamar, were you the one that said like we were in like this age? This movie came at the end of an age of like buddy comedy, like action movies.
Yeah.
Because I think that's why it didn't like it was oversaturated. We went away from that for like a decade at the end of the 90s, and it kind of came back with like Rush Hour and some other movies. But I think that's why it didn't make, because this was a good movie. I mean, there's nothing that you can really complain about. There's a few things, but nothing like that you can really say like, oh, there's like, yeah, this is horrible. No.
I bought this movie at a thrift store in Birmingham, Alabama when I was a kid, and that is how I saw this movie. That was the first time.
Wow.
Boom.
That's awesome. No, this movie, I just echo your sentiments. It's fun. It's good. It's nice. I think it's a little more than 90 minutes. I have it logged a little bit more. I feel like some of that little bit more could have been shaved. And my road with James Woods, I'm kind of neutral. I can't hate the dude. I mean, he's just he's weird to me. Last time I was on this podcast, we reviewed a Matthew Lillard movie. I think he's a weird dude, but I can learn to like him. James Woods, I don't know, man. I don't think he can grow on me.
I'm hearing some bestie talk.
James Woods won't grow on me, but he's all right in this movie. And this movie's okay. Not just because Michael J. Fox is in it. It's just, I think it has a really interesting plot point with the whole, like you said it, Paul, the whole altered gun thing. And
that's fun.
Just the way it was done. There's a weird buddy cop movie where an actor wants to pretty much shadow what he wants to method act as. It's pretty awesome. And Sarah, thank you for bringing up that Simpsons episode. I just recently watched that and just the scenes of James Woods scraping the microwave like Apu. I need a little help with it. Like James Woods really got into that role. And I don't know how much of that he did for this role. You guys mentioned it, but he's going a step beyond for this. I gotta say, my hat's off to him. This movie's all right.
I also wanted to note this director was the director of War Games and Short Circuit.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And Bird on a Wire with Mel.
Wow.
Yeah, Mel Gibson, I believe.
Yeah.
That's quite the decade he covered.
Yeah. This is like a notable director.
Those are classic movies for me. There's Short Circuit, War Games for everybody, but a special place in my heart for Short Circuit. And, I like that movie.
And
great movie.
What do you think, Jeremy? What's your final review of The Hard Way?
So when you said like you were going to review this movie and you invited me to do it, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to do this. I love James Wood as a fucking asshole. We have watched Judgment Night, which Dennis Leary played an asshole. I think James Wood plays a better asshole.
I agree.
Especially like I tried to highlight as many like the one-liners that he delivers where they're just like vulgar insults. And there's, there's not like an endless supply, but the ones that he does deliver are delivered well. like I said, I can't fault this movie for anything. There's a couple like things here and there, but I'm not worried about those things. I really enjoyed this movie, and yeah, I think it's a great buddy comedy movie. I just wish that it would have made more money than it did. I mean, it was really kind of following on the heels of a Lethal Weapon series, so yeah.
I again just I think that end is so genius of this film that Michael J. Fox's character isn't even there with James Woods.
Yeah.
It's you can see my movie, bye. Like it's just so representative of his personality and probably what he would really do. Just I often think of the end of this film and just I like that that's how it wraps up. That is a creative ending for me.
And there are hints of him through the movie of him being just the actor, just like it's all about me actor, no matter how much he wants to be partnering up with James Woods. It's more of it's all about me. It's all about this movie. It's all about this role.
Right, and the real ending slap in the face. I stole your speech, and now it's probably going to get me an
That's
Academy Award.
that's good ending right there. Yep. You know.
Well, and we talked about the billboards earlier on, like James Woods like his character hates those Nick Lang billboards, and the fact that it like ended on one of those like billboards was kind of ironic.
There's no escape. Well, coming at you next, hopefully you enjoyed this. We're going to get you some back-to-back weird movies coming at you. So welcome back to school, everybody, because we're going to start off with Dead Man on Campus, 1998. We're going to follow that up with a similar themed film, but probably a big departure from 1998 as well. But next week, Dead Man on Campus, 1998. I think it's an MTV-backed film. You're going to recognize Zach Morris amongst other people who are in this film. But yeah, it's going to be a dark approach. This one a little more comedic to your back-to-school lifestyle. So if you're into that. But yeah, any final words? Sarah, thanks for joining us. Hopefully you'll join us again.
Thanks for having me. It was a great time.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
That's a review. We're a great time. I'm going to tell people that.
You can, and it would be true.
That's great. I like these reviews. I feel very positive in this room. This is the way to go. Well, as always, Rabbit Troop sucks. What was I saying?
No.
Nah.